share with me and get to know me.
Working within it so that you can trust
You gotta
them.
be able to produce things. And I'll tell you why that production is so important. But before we go there, how do you use those two pieces of equipment? And
success is not necessarily financial, but success is when you feel fulfilled in what you're doing. And then
to other women, they need to know their value, their worth.
But I believe everything that you put your mind to and you achieve, it's success.
Give us all the stuff.
Okay, I'll answer all 16 of those questions right now. I started in the music business at Sony while I was still...
Hello, and welcome to the show. My name is Renee Hastings, and I'm your host of the Renee Speaks Podcast. Today, I am so excited to share with you our very special guest. Our special guest today is an award-winning book publishing and publicity consultant. She works with savvy entrepreneurs and enlightened professionals to help them become published authors and leverage their books to create greater visibility and buzz. Her company helps experts go from idea to published book and offers mentoring and done-for-you book promotion campaigns. They also mentor authors in book writing, publishing, and promotion. She has helped over 200 authors reach bestseller status. Named one of the top 100 people online by Fast Company, she has been featured or quoted in Clicks, Cranes, ABC, CBS, the New York Enterprise Report, the Star Ledger, Environmental Ledger, CNN, Houston Magazine, Spa Magazine, Women's Wear Daily, and many other media outlets. Y'all, put your hands together for my very own special guest, Jane Tabachnick!
Hi, Renee.
How are
Thank you. Thank you for the warm welcome. I appreciate it.
You are so welcome. We are so excited to have you on the show today. And Jane, I must say, it is truly an honor to be in your presence, the presence of greatness.
Oh, likewise.
What you do is life-changing. And
Yeah.
I could not be more thrilled to have you on the show. As entrepreneurs, we're always trying our best to, get ourselves out there, promote ourselves, promote our businesses, extend our reach in some way. And by writing a book, that just kind of adds, puts another notch in our belt of to confirm or to validate our authority that we have as entrepreneurs in our industrial space, right? So
Absolutely.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got to this place in your journey? Just tell us all the things.
Oh, thank you so much. So I'm actually a recovering fashion designer. So I didn't set out to become a book publisher or book coach. When I left the fashion business, I decided to play on my strengths and the things that I enjoyed, and that was PR and marketing. And in working with my clients, I continually saw the need for more visibility, more credibility, to get in front of more of their ideal clients and help those clients be, or prospects, have them be pre-sold on the clients. And it really wasn't something that I decided to do, but it was a conversation I had at a conference about 15 years ago when someone asked me if I'd ever thought about adding book publishing to what I was doing. And I had to say I hadn't. And the light bulb went off, though. I said, that is a great idea, because a book is the ultimate tool, the ultimate piece of credibility, expert positioning, and visibility. One of my colleagues once said to me that when he became a published author, people treated him as if his IQ had gone up like 100 points.
Oh, I love that, because it's like it's real. Like, you are now an authority on this subject matter because it's in a book. It's been published. It's a bestseller. Of course you're an authority.
Yes, exactly. It's unquestionable. And people they don't have to read the book to assume that authority, credibility, and that you are that expert. That's the beautiful thing about it.
Right. Absolutely. I just absolutely love it. And I think one of the reasons why I'm so excited about this, about talking with you, especially, is because I have said to myself, I'm going to say, and this is kind of a secret, like only one or two other people know this, that I'm going to write a book. Right. And I said, okay, if I tell somebody, then they're probably going to hold me accountable and make me start writing stuff.
Well, you just told a few people.
And so I'm just like, okay, I need to, if I'm going to do this thing, I really need to know what I'm getting into. What does this involve? How do I even begin to organize a thought, in a way that would make somebody want to read the next word?
Awesome. Yeah, such a good question. Yeah, so the thing is, what you mentioned, it is a bit of a daunting process and can feel overwhelming. So what you want to do is just do a little bit of research on what publishing a book is like. There are a couple of different ways you can go. There's the traditional route, which is where you seek a publishing deal. There's hybrid, which is kind of where you do a little bit, the hybrid publisher does a lot for you. You do pay a fee to them. They kind of split the cost with you. And then there's self-publishing. There are two kinds of self-publishing, actually. There's where you totally do it yourself. You learn everything you can about publishing and you do it yourself. Or you can do what I call professional self-publishing, but is often called assisted self-publishing. And that's what we do. We handle all the publishing for our clients. So they don't have to learn publishing. They can focus on their business, stay in their zone of genius, focus on writing the book, and then just handing it off to us. But one of the best ways, I think, to get started with your book is really take the time to do what all best-selling authors do, which is, in traditional publishing, it's put together a book proposal. The way we do it in indie publishing or self-publishing is we call it a book blueprint. And what it is really taking the time to get clear. Why do you want to write the book? What are you trying to accomplish writing the book? Who is the book for? Because it's not for everyone. This is a big mistake some people make. Your clients probably are not everyone, and your book is not for everyone. So you want to get really clear on that. And doing all of that is going to make it so much easier to write the book. You're going to have a really clear vision of who you're writing for, so it's going to be easier to write to them. You're writing the book, you think of it as one person you're writing it to or for. And so you'll get clear on that. You'll set your goals as an author. What is it you want to accomplish? Some people just want to check off that they've published the book, and that's great. Some people want to get on more stages. They want to take the book, become a public speaker, use the book to help them do that, or a keynote speaker. They may want to launch a course from the book. There are lots of different things you can do with the book, but you just want to know in advance what you want to do with it so that you can build it into the book. And then you'll know what steps you need to take when you publish the book, or before you publish it, start planting those seeds to make those things a reality.
Right. Wow. What great advice. Those are some amazing tips for me as an entrepreneur and other professionals who are aspiring to be published authors. So, all right. So Jane, I'm kind of like you have to break it down for me just a little bit, like a 5-year-old, like
Yes.
you're talking to a 5-year-old. So if I have these thoughts and we do the blueprint, and I have high level ideas and thoughts. How do I get down to the nitty gritty of, because I've seen some people like put their thoughts on Post-its and stick them on a wall, and a different place on the wall depending on what the thought is. How do I organize my thoughts? Because I could write everything down in a notebook, and then I'll get writer's cramp for all the different because it takes so long to write. Or I could try to type it into a computer. Post-its. I just don't even know.
Sure.
How do you organize?
Yeah, it's such a good question. Yeah. So the Post-its are a good start. For the first stage, I encourage people to do a brain dump. Just get all the thoughts out. And then what I really like to do, I know there's some people who don't think you need to do a kind of writing map or table of contents. I think it really helps. Because when after you get the clarity on all the other things I spoke about, then you get clear about what the book is going to be. And that can be chapter by chapter. And what I'm not sure if I mentioned, but what's also really important is to think about what experience do you want the reader to have as a result of reading the book, or what transformation? Are you teaching them something? Do you want them to learn a new skill or a new way of thinking? And so if that's the case, where would they start? You have so say you want to teach them about the metaverse. I was just talking about that earlier. So you want to teach them how to use Zoom. Let's go a little more specific. You have to tell them, well, Zoom is a platform. If a Martian landed, they wouldn't know what Zoom is. So that's why knowing your audience is really, really helpful. How much knowledge would they have about Zoom? If they all use Zoom, if you know that that's how tech savvy they are, then you're not going to tell them what Zoom is. Oh, it's a platform. This is what you do with it. They already know that. But if they don't know that, you have to start at the beginning. This is what it is. This is why we're talking about it. This is how it can help you. So knowing where they're at is really important. So you lay your foundation. This is where we're going to be spending time. This is the world we'll be living in for the book. And here's what you need to know. Here's why it's important. And you can organize it sequentially, if that makes sense, or in a way that you think is going to be a good journey for the reader. And then depending on what you want to accomplish with the book, you may give them activities at the end of a chapter, put questions at the end of a chapter to help them. There may be worksheets that come with the book. There's so many fun things you can do with the book, especially if you're a coach and you're sharing a method with them, to give them a taste of what you do. It's not going to be the same as them working one-on-one with you, but it can give them a sense of what you do. So they say, I love this. I have to go work with Renee.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that definitely is what we want.
Yes.
And we're building a business, this is what we want. We want people to work with us and see the value in working with us.
Yeah. So by organizing it carefully like that, you can take all the Post-its and say, this belongs in chapter 1. This belongs in chapter 2. And you know what? This doesn't belong anywhere. So I'm just going to take it and put it in the pile for book 2 or book 3.
Oh, gosh. We're really reaching there. I love it, though, because that's where we unless we see it or hear the words, like, you're not going to just publish one book. You're going to publish 2 or 3 or 4. Then it's like, okay, now my mind has something new to think about. And so it actually relieves some of the pressure, because it's like, this first book can just be, the basics. Yes. Maybe going on down the road, you can get into the nitty gritty and the details and the ins and outs of every single detail of everything.
Yeah, right. You can think of it like an appetizer, a main course, and then the third book is dessert.
I love it. Yeah. You make it seem so easy. Like, okay, I can really do this.
Yeah. Well, look, it is doable, but there can be a steep learning curve. So here's what I also really recommend. Find yourself either a writing community, so you have some support and some other people who are on the journey, have some knowledge, a book coaching program, or one-on-one with a coach. And I say that not because that's what I do for a living, but if you speak to a lot of people, they want to write a book and they don't get around to it because it's too overwhelming. They don't know where to start, or they start and they don't finish because they get stuck in the middle. And it's really common. And I hate to see that kind of frustration. So having support along the way is really, really helpful. It's helpful to get the book written. And then when you go to launch, you've got people to help you with some of the promotion, hopefully, and to help you celebrate the big accomplishment of publishing your book, because it is something to celebrate.
Yes, definitely. It absolutely is. It is truly an accomplishment, truly just a milestone on your journey.
Yes.
This, when you have actually, it's almost like graduating from college. It's like you put in the time, you put in the work, you did all the things, I've made all the assignments and all the late night papers you're writing and, all this. And then you get to publishing of this book and it being released and launched. So that is really a great way to kind of look at it. And even for me, baby stepping throughout the process, breaking it down into the bite-sized pieces and thinking of it in a one, an appetizer, a dinner, and then a dessert at the end. I love that. I absolutely love thinking about it that way.
Good. And the other thing, we all have such a short attention spans. Shorter books can be great. It doesn't have to be this big 200-page book. There are books that have sold millions and millions of copies that are like 90 pages. I think Who Moved My Cheese or Who Ate My Cheese, which is, a business book from maybe the 90s.
Cheese? I got it right in my Yes, I have it.
So you don't need
it's one of my favorites.
Awesome. Yeah. So the good content.
I agree, and I'm grateful for that.
I think we have a delay here.
Yes. So content. Yeah, there's a content is more important than volume, is what it sounds like you're saying.
Absolutely. Yes. Very important.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So I feel like I need to be laying on your couch in your office, and you like giving me all this advice of my own personal life. So thank you very much for just gracing us and letting us know, just sharing your wisdom and knowledge. Because I know I'm not alone. There have got to be others. I know there are other business owners and entrepreneurs who know that they've been down this road. They've been down this journey. They've experienced some things, they've learned some things. There's some things that they would do the same. There's a lot of things they would do differently. I know I'm not the only one. I can't be. And so, and if they want to, document those things and share their story, share their experience, so that the other entrepreneurs coming behind them don't have to repeat the same mistakes, or along the journey with them, they can learn from their own experience and not have to reinvent the wheel or, feel like they have to start from scratch, because it can take our experiences that we've documented, the things that work for us and the things that may not have, and we would have done differently, to kind of make their next not so hard.
Yeah, that's such a gift to give people, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So that's why I think your job has got to be so rewarding because of that, because you're helping other people make things easier for other people.
Yeah, I believe that books can change the world and we can make an impact one book at a time. So I'm very proud to be able to help people make an impact. And I feel like a facilitator for people who have gifts to share and impact to make, and helping them get that message and methodology out there. And that's important.
Absolutely. So important. So important. Yeah. So Jane, what is your favorite book that you've either authored or helped someone else to author?
Oh, such a good question. So I have to say, I love my client's book, Learn, Lead, Lift. It's by Wendy Ryan. And what I love about the book is Wendy designed it. She had a vision for it that the book, it's a fairly big book, but that it would be modular. You could read the book from cover to cover, front to back, or you could just read one chapter. You could kind of choose your own adventure, read a chapter at a time, and skip around, and the chapters would stand on their own.
Oh, wow.
And the book works really nicely like that. That book does have some exercises and key takeaways at the end of each chapter. So each chapter really gives you a good experience and some learning. And Wendy also interviewed a lot of people for the book. So she interviewed people, and this is a good tip. So if anyone thinking I'm not expert enough in a topic, I hear that a lot. First of all, I'm sure you are. But that said, you can bring in others with similar expertise or who can add knowledge and their own expertise or their own experience and stories to round out the book, the topic that you're working on. And that can increase your credibility. And what's also nice about that is that when the book comes out, those people are probably going to be very proud to help promote the book because they're featured in it.
That's right. That's right. What a great idea. So it's like, I don't even have to take this journey by myself.
Right.
You know, I got my writing community. I got people contributing to it. So it doesn't have to be just all my own words.
Exactly.
You're making this easier and easier, Jane. I'm just saying.
Well, it takes a little work. Let me tell you, I'm not going to say it's like a cakewalk, okay? But why not try and make it fun along the way? And I usually have more fun with people than on my own. So I try and bring a little party together to help the process and the launch and the promotion. And I think everyone benefits from that.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. Any reason for a party is I'm all about it.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So Jane, what does the future look like for you? I mean, you've had this amazing career in fashion. You're changing lives, helping people publish books and coaching and mentoring people who want to be authors. What's in the future for you?
Yeah, so my dream, which I hope to realize this year, is to start hosting writing retreats in some sort of exotic locations.
Yeah. I'm so excited about that.
Thank you.
That is really, when you can get away from it all, that's one of the things that I think is so important, is to find a space, a time where you can do that brain dump, and you can do that, focused effort to just get things out and to connect with other people and reflect on what you would want to do and why you want to do it and the words that you want to say, and doing that in some kind of exotic location, of course, I'm sure would relieve any writer's block anyone may have.
I hope so.
Well, if there's anything I can do to help you on that journey, please do not hesitate to let me know. I am more than thrilled to partner with you and help you promote that and to make it a reality for you.
Thank you so much.
So how do people reach you, Jane, if they're thinking about writing a book, if they think they might want to start thinking about writing a book? How do people reach you?
Yeah, so one of the best ways is I have a 10-session, very short, 10 minutes approximately per episode podcast called The Self-Publishing Blueprint, which is at theselfpublishingblueprint.com. And it really gives you an overview of things to think about in the publishing process and how to get started and how to create your own book blueprint. And it also gives you a chance to connect with me. So if that's something that you want to do, that would be wonderful.
Yes, and we have it pulled up on the screen here.
Yeah,
as
thank
well.
you.
Yes, so thank you very much for that resource, and thanks for putting that together, because that's certainly, when you put it in bite-sized pieces like that, it's so much easier to digest. Right?
Yes.
That was super smart. I love that.
So, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I'm sitting here reading all over. It's like, oh yes, I want to do that. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So that is fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yes.
As we get ready to wrap things up here, are there any final words or suggestions that you might have for individuals who are thinking about getting started and they don't know how, or like you said, think they're not qualified? Is it maybe like a mindset shift that people might need to make or something?
Yes. So first you have to commit. If you think you want to write a book, you have to say, I'm going to do it. And you have to know that some of these thoughts will come up, and think of them like clouds. This isn't my idea, but I'm borrowing it and it works like a cloud. It's a thought. I'm not an expert, and let it keep going like a cloud across the sky and do it anyway. But what you really want to do is do a little bit of research on publishing. Decide, do you want to go the traditional route? Do you want to go and have total control and go to market much faster, self-publishing? If you go for traditional publishing, it could take 2 years just to get signed with a publisher. You could already be published and promoting your book in that time if you do it yourself. So, you need to make some of those considerations. The other thing I would say is start building your network. You can't have a big enough network when you go to publish a book, because some people will promote it, some won't. But you want to build that network, develop your relationships so that people are there to support you, celebrate with you. And some of them will promote it and let you get in front of their audiences, whether it's on a podcast, on their blog. They'll just share it on socials for you.
Right. So you're saying that, like, just in my case, since it's out there now, I should start thinking about how I want to publish before I even write one word?
Well, it's good to know. So here's the thing. If you weren't sure about it, you could start down the road of writing your book blueprint, which is pretty much the same as your book proposal. Once it's done, though, so the book proposal is what goes to get a book agent, which goes to get a traditional publishing deal. Your book blueprint is something that you would use if you go the hybrid publisher or you self-publish. You're gathering a lot of the same information and thinking through a lot of the same things. So getting clear in the beginning is really important, and putting that down on paper. And then after that's done, or just before it's done, you need to decide which way you're going with it.
Right. Okay. Yes, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're what do they call that? Killing two birds with one stone. I hope that's not offensive to anyone, but
yeah.
Yeah. So
yes.
You're doing one activity that covers multiple needs along the journey.
Fairly closely. They're not exactly on par, but they're close enough that if you did the book blueprint, like if you followed my process or did a book blueprint, you could easily then translate it into the format that typically goes to a book proposal for a traditional publisher. You've got all the hard work done, thinking it through, getting clear. So you might just need to format it slightly differently and add a few points that might be missing. And it would be really easy to go either way with it.
Right. Love that.
Yeah.
I'm all about efficiency and doing work once and then kind of parlaying that.
Measure twice, cut once.
Exactly. So, Jane, what does success look like for you?
For me, well, for me, success, I'm really also about my client's success. For me personally, it's everyone in my family being healthy and being in contact and getting to see them often. So that's, and my friends as well. Getting to travel is a luxury, something that I adore. So that is, I'm successful if I get to do that. And then, I really love seeing my clients succeed, and success means different things to different people. I like to be clear with authors. Success doesn't mean you're going to sell 100,000 books or 1 million books. It could mean that you got published. That is your success,
Right.
Or that you got published and then you got featured in some publication because of your book. You won a book award. It could mean a lot of things. And that's so rewarding when the author's goal, what success means to them, gets realized. That's really exciting to me.
Wow, that's so awesome. So awesome. And yes, so success definitely looks different for everyone. And when it comes to, I like how you said it, just getting published could be success. It doesn't matter if you sell a single book, but you did the thing. You took all the steps. Went through all the motions. You did all of the stuff to get published. That's huge.
It is. I can admit I have 2 books on my shelf that I wrote that never got published. So I'm one of those people. I have published a few books, but there are also a few that didn't get past the writing stage. So I know what that feels like.
Yeah. And maybe one day, or maybe not. Maybe it was just for your own enjoyment, just so that you could say, yes, I did this thing.
Yes.
Right. Well, that is awesome. Well, Jane, it has truly been an amazing experience chatting with you, learning from you, just getting more comfortable with my own private thoughts and knowing that it's possible that this idea that I had in my head something that benefits me. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Wrap up our show by saying you were made for something great.